Hey everybody, this is Guro Francis, and today is another episode of Bayani Talk. Hey everybody, this is Guro Francis, and today's another episode of Bayani Talk, and today we're going to be talking about appreciating the past. Now, in recent videos from 413 Media Group, somebody commented about how Filipinos are so focused on the past. Right? And why are we so focused on the past? And if we continue to focus on the past and not look towards the future, then our martial arts system is going to go in the wayside as far as its effectiveness and as far as adaptability is concerned. Well, I'm here to respond to that. And off the top of my head, my immediate response is, that's a load of malarkey. That's a load of crap, man. First of all, this person already stated that he or whoever this person is really is not a martial artist expert, quote unquote. But he kept saying that, if we keep focusing on the past, we're just, it's never going to involve like MMA or what the current, like Krav Maga. Okay, first of all, nothing against MMA, nothing against Krav Maga, but to say that we're starting to kind of drift out of effectiveness and how modern our technique is, that's just ignorant. That's just absolutely ignorant. So why is knowing your Filipino martial arts history important? Well, here's a couple reasons why. Knowing your history teaches us why the art was even invented. Now, the Philippines is less than 100 years old. Okay, as an independent nation, the Philippines is less than 100 years old. That means most of the Philippine history that we know of as of today, most of that is under subjugation either from Spain or Japan or wherever. So that means during that time, most of our history was under tyrannical rule. Okay, now why does that matter? Okay, so there's been argument whether FMA was born in the Philippines or the technique was born in the Philippines. But most historians are starting to accept the fact that FMA was probably brought, the original or the origins of FMA was brought over by the Spaniards. Now, here's why I'm questioning whether or not if FMA can be adapted or can evolve or can it grow be able to still appreciate the past. The thing about it is, if FMA was brought over by the Spaniards, if we look at the way FMA moves and techniques are now, and we look at the way the Spaniards are fighting, the way their techniques, it's completely night and day difference already. Why? Because we definitely had to adapt. Now, most of the people that trained, in the swordsmanship of the Spaniards were probably people of wealth, while most of the Filipinos, especially during the subjugation time, we are the people of poor. We are people of need. So we had to adapt the movements and the techniques that we had in order to be more accessible to that of the poor people, of the common man. Okay. So now, with that being said, because it doesn't look exactly the way it was from the very beginning, it looks completely different now. There's one evidence right there that FMA is evolving and adapting from what it was, but we never forgot where it came from, or at least why we had to adapt it. Right? The fathers of modern Filipino martial arts styles today use FMA, whatever that was taught to them, to use it to defend themselves, to defend their land, to defend their family, and to defend their way of life. They used it, but adapted it from what it was when the Spaniards brought it over, if the Spaniards did bring it over, to what it is today. So there's one evidence of itself that it is adaptable. Okay, and it adapted to fit the needs of the fighter. Now, FMA does evolve. Okay, FMA is efficient. We've used words such as economy in motion, efficiency movement. These are some of the staple phrases that you hear within Filipino martial arts system, meaning that we took out a lot of the stuff that was not working for us and trimmed the fat in a sense to adapt it to our system. Now, some movements may be less efficient in other systems than it is compared to theirs, but that's in itself a preference. But the idea of it being as efficient and in your movement or economy in motion is still there, meaning that it is constantly evolving. We're always trying to find ways to adapt and make it more efficient the way we train and the way we fight. And because of that, we have adapted this to that there's no such thing as a body type when it comes to Filipino martial arts. This is one of the reasons why I adapted the Anybody FMA campaign, because any body type, anybody, any age, any gender, they can do Filipino martial arts. Okay, because it is adaptable to the fighter. The fighter doesn't have to adapt, doesn't have to change themselves too much to learn FMA, but it does adapt to the body. Now look at me, I'm a big person. I'm a big, big boy screamador right here, right? But I have adapted my technique of FMA to be efficient for my body type. And that's why FMA is constantly evolving, because every person is different from the next person. And thus it is evolving and adapting to that individual. This is why Filipino martial arts will never stay stagnant. It will always continuously to grow. It will always evolve into something that is going to continue to be effective. Now, as far as the efficacy of Filipino martial arts, there's a reason why every tier 1 military group across the globe uses Filipino martial arts. Because, I mean, come on guys, these are the guys that actually use this on a life and death situation on a daily. Okay, so if it's not effective, why would they be using it? If it's not adapting to today's modern warfare, why are they using it? If it doesn't work, I'm pretty sure the military won't use it. I've never been in the military, but I've always had high regards and respect to those who have served in uniform. But because it is being used by the most elitist group of our fighting men and women, then that means that it is still adaptable, it is still relevant, and it is still constantly evolving. This is why FMA will never lose its efficacy. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that we understand where it comes from. We understood why Filipino martial arts was born out of subjugation and was used to overthrow our subjugators. Okay, and if we don't understand that, if we don't appreciate those things, then we're doomed to repeat it itself. Now, I'm no fronting. Most of you guys know I have a bachelor's in religion, and I was a student at Claremont School of Theology to get my master's in divinity. So I'm a history buff to begin with. But there is something to be said that there's reasons why that these are the fathers of FMA, right? Designed the technique, the parents of FMA designed the techniques and the style so that it was efficient then, adaptable to the needs that they needed then, but then gave us the foundation to adapt and evolve it to the ways we need it today. The way I look at this is that if you don't understand the history of your Filipino martial arts, you're never going to know how great Filipino martial arts really is. And let me close this by saying this. I've always believed that the chapters that I write today in regards to Filipino martial arts is a continuation of the stories that my predecessors left me, so for my successors to read. This is an ongoing story. I'm writing into that book, into that history book. I'm putting in my own chapters, but I've read the chapters that was written before me so that my students have something to grow from. That's just my thought. Do you guys agree? Do you believe that understanding and appreciating the history of Filipino martial arts is important? Please comment down below. And don't forget to hit like, share, or subscribe. And don't forget that notification button so that you're alerted the moment a new Bayani Talk video comes out. And if you are looking for a Filipino martial arts school that does appreciates its history, please visit our sister school at www.fmaschool.com. Until then, my name is Guro Francis. Peace out, God bless, and keep swinging them sticks.